I've said it before, but generative AI has exploded in the last year alone. The amount of searches that have happened across the web for generative AI has seen from the graph by exploring topics shows this to be the case. So in this video, I'll go about understanding the different types of generative AI and its potential. And so if you're interested in that, subscribe to this channel to learn more about AI trends, tools, tips, and tricks to help navigate you through this digital ocean we call AI. So first, looking at the growing generative AI market, we can see that it's worth $13 billion in the last 2 years, and by 2025, the market is expected to reach $22 billion. It's also expected to rise year after year, with the compound annual growth rate estimated to be at about 27%. Even looking at funding for generative AI startups in 2022 alone, most generative AI startups raised about $2.6 billion across just 110 deals. Then in 2023, across 46 deals, which is far less than the year before, they raised $1.7 billion. So, besides ChatGPT, what are the examples of generative AI that is actually out there? Well, for one, there's text-to-text generation. Text-to-text generation is what is most popular and widely known. This is where you type in a specific prompt into a chat and get a corresponding response. This is proving to be extremely useful for research, learning new information, and even creating content at extremely high speeds. It's usually quite useful for content creators, writers, bloggers, and anyone that's really dealing with text on a daily basis. And some suggested tools that you can kind of look at are ChatGPT, Google Bard, Jasper.ai, Copy AI, and we cover this more in another video. Then there is text-to-image generation. Text-to-image generation, as the name implies, is literally typing in a few words and getting an output of an image. This is serving to be quite useful for creating visuals that we might otherwise not have been able to create before. Right now, it's quite useful for content creators, designers, marketers, and anyone needing visual content based on text-rich descriptions. Some suggested tools are DALL-E, Midjourney, Leonardo.ai, Stable Diffusion, and I also cover this in another video for top image generators. And then there is image-to-image generation, which involves uploading a given image and then generating a specific image in return. This is proving to be particularly useful for modifying specific existing images into a different style, getting artistic inspiration, or editing the look and feel of an image. Right now, artists, photographers, and designers can find the most use out of this, and platforms like Midjourney or Adobe or Firefly are some prominent platforms that people can get started with. And then there's text-to-video generation. Text-to-video generation is taking things a bit further with your prompts by creating actual videos. This is quite useful for creating unique video content. Of course, content creators, video editors, animators, and filmmakers can probably see the most benefit from this type of Gen AI. Platforms like InVideo and Synthesia are proving to be some of the more widely known popular AI tools for generating video via text. And then there's audio generation. Audio generation leverages Gen AI models to create music, speech, and/or any audio medium. It's quite useful because, much like video or images, this helps users create their own music compositions with ease and even create real-life voiceovers without having to hire voice actors. Content creators, musicians, and anyone needing voiceovers can definitely use these tools. Tools like Murph.ai, Revoicer, UberDuck, and Meta's AudioCraft are just a few examples of this. And then, of course, there's code generation. The code generation AI helps to write, fix, and complete code for a plethora of programming languages. This helps to streamline software development by automating repetitive code tasks and allows you to deploy apps much faster. It's also a great way to learn programming as well. It's really useful for developers, programmers, and anyone involved in software development. And for solopreneurs who want to build something with a vast basic amount of programming knowledge, they may be able to do so now. Tools like GitHub Copilot, ChatGPT, and Hugging Face are just some of the tools that help with this. So while the mainstream might see generative AI as just ChatGPT, the sector itself is actually quite huge, as research indicates that it can stand up to $4.4 trillion to the global economy annually. There is a growing ecosystem of companies that are displaying the power of AI in the Gen AI space. And compared to what was initially thought, generative AI has now made many experts believe that AI has the ability to reach human-level performance in a multitude of different areas. As you can see from this graph, it shows just how fast experts believe AI will catch up to humans in a variety of areas, pre-generative AI and post. In fact, some people think that it will develop so quickly that performance will compete with the top 25% of people in terms of productivity, all of which will happen before 2040. Not only will this help creatives, but generative AI has the potential to bring a tremendous amount of value for sectors of all parts. When it comes to banking, GenAI will be able to support sales by pushing personalized content tailored for each client based on profile, transaction history, and more. And will also be able to automate and accelerate emergency customer support. And then when it comes to retail and consumer goods, GenAI is expected to help with consumer research by creating multiple different test scenarios, and also be able to inform brands of real time of consumer preferences. And even when it comes to pharmaceuticals, genAI will be able to help with research and drug discovery through the use of synthetic data. So with all this talk, is generative AI just hype? Well, there are some interesting stances here, with some thinking that it may be. But one thing that is for certain is that genAI is definitely going to change the way we work. It's begun to automate and accelerate a large portion of our tasks, and as of right now, it's expected to continue doing so. In fact, generative AI is believed to contribute a huge boost in productivity all the way up till 2040 if the right measures for employment are deployed. Although it does boost creativity, it isn't perfect, however. Especially when it comes to content production, there are cases of the information provided being a bit biased, inaccurate, and not reliable. So just diving into genAI and using tools mindlessly is going to cause issues. We are going to need proper ways of educating, learning, and using these tools in the right way. Right now, we're at the start of something big. Besides ChatGPT, most people are not aware of the potential for genAI, and if they are, they're not fully utilizing it. Even when looking at this graph from a McKinsey report, we can see that 80% of people are either sometimes or not using generative AI at all. And even when leaders are in an organization or are asked whether they should use it, 65% of them respond by saying sometimes. Out of the modern workforce, Gen Z are thought to have adopted it the most, at about 29% of the respondents, with Gen X coming second at 28% and millennials at 27%. Remember, it's only been a year or two since genAI has come into the public view, and as of right now, is mainly leveraged by marketers and sales. What this all means is that for the person watching this video, knowing just how powerful generative AI is and its potential for growth, you can be at the forefront of something huge. So adopting the right knowledge and skills to leverage not just generative AI tools, but AI apps in general can help to improve workflow and will make you stand out from the majority of people. As such, it's time to use this information in this video to good use and start learning. If you want to know some of the key AI skills you need to learn on top of generative AI, make sure to watch this video on the left and subscribe to the channel so you can be one of the top 10 percenters that will be and stand at the forefront of this digital world.